And we are live. Welcome back, everybody, to Behind the ToolBelt, episode 314. I am your host, Ty Cobb Backer, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition. We will be back after our short intro from our sponsors.
TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. TC Backer.
Is your lead flow down? Whether you're a company owner, office staff, salesperson, or installer, you're a roofing rock star. We help you get more leads with custom SEO, Google Ads, and a pro website.
This isn't motivation, it's reality. Built in the trenches, forged through mistakes, paid for with scars, no shortcuts. Just real leaders doing real work. Every week, we pull back the curtain on the weight of real leadership. If you're still standing, you belong here. Please welcome your host of Behind the Tool Belt, Ty Cobb Backer.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. What's happening? Today is episode 314. We are wrapping up the year, I believe, pretty strong. We already have an amazing guest lined up for our first week in January, our first week in 2026. And we have already set out to make 2026 our bitch. So, having said that, today is a special one, episode 314, and this is our last and final episode of the year. Now, it is crazy, absolutely mind-blowing. It truly is, week after week after week after week. I love the intro, Vic. I love that thing. It speaks volume. It speaks truth. It speaks, it's speaking my language. You know, it's this is where this shit is built, you know, and what this show has done for me is it's kept me sharp. It's kept me learning. It's kept me on wanting to learn and continuously learning, so I can stay on top of the new products, new things about myself that I learn on a week-to-week and day-to-day basis and all that good stuff. And I think by ending out the year here, I want to maybe do a little bit of reflection. I don't know, gratitude, growth, talk about some growth, and maybe we'll dabble a little bit into, you know, what's next. But if you've been following us for a while, you know that we don't just talk about business on this podcast. We talk about relationships. We talk about leadership. We talk people, right? We talk faith, family, mindset, growth, and what it really looks like to build something meaningful and not just successful. You know, something with purpose. Okay, because that's what we set out to do. We get more intentional about the purpose, I think, you know, weekly, you know, especially after we do the podcast and stuff. And it usually, you know, stirs up, you know, some ideas and some areas where we lack sometimes. And usually it's the conversations that Vic and I have before the podcast. We go live. We talk about, you know, what's going on in our personal life. We talk about what's going on in our professional life. And it kind of keeps us on track of not losing the purpose and not losing the whole point of why we do this, you know, and the why behind this, you know, of Behind the ToolBelt, TC Backer, you know, all of the other ventures that we've explored, all the ventures that we're involved with today, and making sure that we're leading by example, holding ourselves accountable, because we can't hold other people accountable if we're not holding ourselves accountable into a higher standard, especially if we expect others to be held to that standard. We as individuals need to hold ourselves to a standard. And I think this podcast has done that for myself, and I know it's done that for Vic too, because we're not going to just sit here for an hour dribbling our lip and then essentially live two different lives. You know, I've done that when I was younger. I've lived two different lives. So I don't know. Today isn't going to be about sales numbers. It's not going to be about marketing strategies. It's going to be about reflecting, gratitude, acknowledgement, because none of this, and I mean none of this, happens alone. We do it as a team. It's a we sport, and I truly believe that. So as I look, back over the last, I don't know, several years, several weeks, actually, you know what I mean? I am overwhelmed in the best possible way. I truly am. This year has stretched me. It's challenged me. It's forced me to grow as a leader, as a son, as a business owner, as a husband, as a father, and a grandfather. And I should let the cat out of the bag. I'm going to do it anyhow. We actually have 2 more grandchildren on the way. So family's getting big. And one of them is going to be a boy. I just found that out today. So the Backer name, the Backer legacy will continue on. But here's what I know for sure. Okay. Growth happens, and it lives in the stretch, in the suck. I've heard Vic say that. Embrace the suck. And what I mean by that is there's a couple of things. I always revert back to, most people run from pain. Okay. Most people live in excuses. Most people live in blame. They blame other people. My life sucks because of so-and-so, or whatever the case might be. However, where real development happens, where real growth happens, where you feel fulfilled and most successful. And I'm not saying success is monetary. I'm saying success is feeling fulfilled, feeling okay about you in your own skin. Because I know for a long time, I felt very insecure. I know I was an insecure person. I had carried around a lot of unhealthy fears. And today, I want to say that I do have fears. However, they are mostly healthy fears. And I don't know if you know the difference between unhealthy. I'm sure if you thought about it hard enough, the difference between unhealthy fears, like I don't have to worry about the red and blue lights behind me, that's an unhealthy fear. And a healthy fear is, oh shit, I'm running late for work. Just a small little example. Or I'm going to let my family down. Things like that. So today, if I suffer from any type of fear, it's usually healthy fears. But this year for me, there had been, a lot of wins, a lot of lessons. There were moments where, things went exactly as planned. And then there was moments where it absolutely did not, where it just fell to shit. And, but here's what, has happened, right? That I talked about the stretch, the suck. Okay. So this year we had an incredible conversations. Okay, on this podcast, we brought on leaders from across the trades, from marketing to sales to finance to leadership development and beyond. And we expect to have a lot more people, good guests on the show, and starting next week. But our guests that have come on the show, a lot of these people I know personally, and a lot of these people I've leaned on, and I've watched them go through difficult times. I've watched them gamble in business and take risk and take chances and fail miserably. Okay. And, I think a lot of people live in that fear of like, what if I fail? What if I don't make it? And I think that's what holds a lot of people back. And that's the difference between greatness and mediocre, is that the willingness to take a risk, but more importantly, that overcoming that fear of failure and what people might think if I do fail. Okay. Because I think we all worry, as much as we don't want to admit it. We all have the thoughts of what people might think of us. And I think most of you know how I feel about that, and I won't go too far down that rabbit hole there. But these people are who are in the trenches every day. Building companies, building teams, building themselves. More importantly, and when I said we had a lot of wins and we had a lot of lessons over the years, not just this past year, but over the years, I've had a lot of lessons. And I think a lot of people call these lessons losses or failures. And it's so far from the truth. And that's why I call them lessons. Some of them might be expensive, some of them not so expensive. But the quicker I figure out what may have went wrong, or why did it not go as planned, the sooner I may be able to apply these lessons to future ventures and help somebody else along the way. And truly, that's what Impact's all about, is helping other people out. And that's why we do this. So anyhow, I want to take a moment here to publicly thank somebody. His name is Victor Uri, who is sitting here behind the scenes, because this podcast doesn't happen without him. So I want to give him a big shout out. He produces. You're welcome, my friend, my brother. You promote it, you edit it, you support Behind the ToolBelt, and thank you. Your consistency, okay, your commitment, your belief in this platform from day one, even before from day one, okay. This thank you matters more than you'll ever know. And to our teams across the companies, because without you guys, none of this would happen. Beyond ToolBelt wouldn't happen. TC Backer wouldn't happen. I'm incredibly proud of you, Vic. I've watched you grow leaps and bounds, strides, overcome, health scares, family issues, work obstacles, navigate through finding your place here. We moved you around a little bit, and not that you didn't do well, but you didn't feel fulfilled. And I hope you feel fulfilled now.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you.
You're welcome, brother. You show up, you care, you serve our community at a high level, and you do it with purpose. So thank you. And that's the real success. That's what real success looks like in a nutshell. Okay. I want to give my family a big shout out. Okay. Because None of this works without them. Big shout out to my wife, Jana, my CEO of everything, my partner, my rock. Thank you for believing in the vision, even on the days, oh man, that I know it felt heavy. Thank you for your patience, your wisdom, and your unwavering support. To my kids and my grandchildren, you are my why. Everything that we've built, everything I push through, everything I strive for is for you. So y'all keep me grounded. You remind me of what actually matters to my mom and dad and our extended family. Thank you for your strength. I posted something the other day, I don't know, a week or two ago, and it was the day of the 21 turkey salute. And that shit takes a lot of work. You know, a lot of behind the scenes work. And Vic, you were right there beside me. And some days I wasn't even there. Man, that shit takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of strength and courage to put yourself out there like that to help that amount of people on that type of scale. Okay. And dealing and working with the public, it's not easy, and wanting to give back, it's not easy, but I think I got that. I know I got that from both my dad and my mom. And I really felt, I think I looked at my hands, and for whatever reason, I realized how much my hands, it's so crazy. Like the palms of my hands look like my dad's. My dad's got these big hands.
Joey Bits.
You know, yeah, like you don't ever want him to grab a hold of you. Okay. But yet the tops of my hands resemble my mom's hands. And whatever I was doing, I was looking at the tops of my hands, and I thought, man, I'm getting old. Like I'm getting old people hands. But I was like, they look like my mom's hands, which isn't a bad thing. At first, of course, I was like, yeah, I got girly hands. But my mom had worker hands. Like she was a worker. Both my mom and dad are the hardest working people I know. Anyhow, but she's given me, you know, and what's cool about it is I know she's up there right now. She's looking over us. She's looking over all of us, and is help guiding the way, you know. But success means nothing if we don't have people to share it with. So I love you guys from the moon and back. And finally, to our listeners, our viewers, our Zach Fishers, our David KXs, those of you guys, the Chris Bakers, the Shane DeGarys, those of you guys that were here at the very beginning of this and are still here, whether it be in spirit or here to support and push and keep us on track and hold us accountable. And the John DeVilles of the world out there, I love you too, brother. Big shout out to all you guys that help us, push us, and make us want to be better. And thank you for allowing us to learn from you guys as well too. But whether you've been listening since episode 1 or you found us just 5 minutes ago, thank you, Chase Fisher out there. Thank you for trusting us with your time. Thank you for sharing the episodes. Thank you for sending messages, stopping me at events, and telling me that the podcast has helped you through a tough season, or gave you clarity or inspiration when you needed it most. So thank you for everybody out there. This podcast exists because of you guys. We keep doing this every week because of you guys. And I don't take that lightly. So thank you very much. And, I guess with some closing thoughts here, we'll go ahead and No, I haven't been on here very long, but I just want to close out the year strong. And we got an amazing guest next week, and I've been doing, my due diligence to make sure it's a great episode, to pull some great questions from this gentleman to help inspire, teach you guys. I kind of do this, selfishly too, but publicly, so you guys can also get what I get out of it as well by having these amazing guests on, our show. So, as we close out the year, I want to leave you with this here. Success isn't just about what you build. Okay. It's about who you become while you're building it. It's the journey. It's who you become along the journey. It's not necessarily the destination and when you get there. It's who you become on this journey to greatness, to success, whatever success looks like for you. And unfortunately, like a knucklehead like me, I continuously move the goalpost, and I keep striving, I keep building, I keep moving, and I keep learning, I keep growing. I keep trying to lead with, humility and courage. And I would expect everyone else to do the same, and remember, don't have to, you don't have to, figure it all out. Just keep moving forward. And anyhow, from our families to yours, from our team to yours, thank you for an incredible, and I mean an amazing, incredible year. This episode, 314 episodes, our final episode of the year. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for the continued support. But we'll be back next year, stronger, clearer, and with more commitment than we have ever brought. We want to bring real conversations from real leaders. So until then, stay safe, stay grateful, keep building from the inside out. God bless y'all, and we'll see you next year. And this is Behind the Tool Belt. Thanks for joining us.